3D Clapboard and Film Acrylic Nail Art Tutorial by Hotpinkzebrapolish. Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to be showing you this really cool clapboard, which is the last of my little movie night series. So it's a clapboard and then it's a roll of film. This is my favorite nail from this series and I just can't even explain to you how much I love the way the roll of film turned out. I have never done this before where I've used, it's actually made just of gel polish and then it's glued on. But you could definitely use this technique. I've seen it for making a couple other things on different channels, but I've never tried it out myself. And so I decided to give it a go, and I think this is the perfect use for it. If you are making these into a set, you could take that you could make extra film and you could make little bows out of it. You could definitely use it in different ways throughout the rest of the nails if you wanted to spice things up a little bit. So I hope you guys like this, and I hope you enjoyed the rest of the little series, and don't forget to click subscribe to see all my future videos as well. So to begin with, like I did on my popcorn bucket nail, I'm going to start with an overlay of gold acrylic just to sort of unify the three nails together and make sure that they do look like they belong together. This gold acrylic I am using is from Young Nails. I know I get asked that a lot. It's the Young Nails Metallic Gold, and I absolutely love it. It's gorgeous. So just make sure that your gold overlay is relatively thin, because once you apply your clear acrylic, which I'm doing now, you want to make sure that you're not going to be filing into that gold after you're, when you're working on your nail. You want to make sure that it's thin enough that you don't need to file it, kind of like glitter. Actually, I think it's probably a bigger deal to not file this than it is to file glitter, because it turns really brown and kind of yuck if you file the metallic gold acrylics, so try not to. So file your nail into shape carefully, and I'm using my e-file for this, starting with a pretty coarse bit just to remove any bulk that there may be, and then switching to a much finer bit to refine the surface texture and just make sure it's nice and smooth and kind of even everything out. And so now to make your clapboard, that is going to be done on a nail form backing, but any sort of shiny sticker paper or a Ziploc bag or anything that acrylic will peel off of will work. I like to use nail form backings just because I have them on hand almost always. And so the beginning of your clapboard is a black rectangle. It is pretty basic. These shapes are very simple for everything in this video. It's all basic shapes, which is good because the Oscar, he's got shoulders and hips and knees and all sorts of things going on. But for this one, even though I think the end result is more striking and more visually interesting, it's actually pretty easy. So then add the top of your clapboard, which is the part that actually makes that noise, and you're going to just add another piece. And then I made a rectangle going across the top of the rectangle I had, and then I cut it with my acrylic brush and sort of opened it up. So when I did it this way, you can kind of play with how open you want your clapboard to be, and you can kind of just open it up until you get to that spot that you like and be like, okay, that's good. And then just work on making sure that those edges stay nice and square until the acrylic sets. Once your clapboard is all set, you can go ahead and glue it onto the nail. Then I would take some clear acrylic and just fill in any of the gaps underneath to make sure that it is really attached and really strong and not going to just break on you, because that is no fun at all. After that's on there, you can go ahead and start painting it. So I took white paint and I'm going to be painting the stripes that are on the snappy, clappy part of the clapboard. It's a technical term if anyone's curious. So they're at an angle, and so they angle back towards the hinge, and so on the top portion of it they angle back towards the hinge, and on the bottom portion of it they angle up towards the hinge. So they go towards the hinge, and there's the same, so on mine I had 4 stripes on the top, so there'll be 4 stripes on the bottom. And try to sort of even them out so that they're evenly spaced just throughout the line, and they're also evenly spaced from top to bottom so that they look like they would line up really well once it's closed, which yours will never close, but if it were to, if you can just think about it closing, imagine on all of your lines lining up. And after you have all of those done, you can go with black paint and you can touch up any lines that you'd like to. I did, and I just kind of fixed up anything that wasn't quite as straight as I'd like it to be, and also add a little line to separate the hinge and add a polka dot on the bottom section or on the last stripe of the bottom section of that, with just a little black dot to where the hinge actually is. And then once again with white paint, I'm just going to be adding 3 very thin stripes on the bottom portion of the clapboard, which is kind of like a chalkboard, and then they would write in the production number, and they'd write in the scene number and number of takes and all of that. So that's where they'd write in all of that information on the bottom of the clapboard, and apply a layer of gel sealer over the background and matte top coat over your clapboard. And now to make this little strip of film. So on a nail form backing, paint a stripe of gel polish, of gel top coat specifically, and no wipe gel top coat. And then, so paint it and then immediately cure it. So I had my lamp right there. So as soon as I was done painting my stripe, I set my lamp on top of it, because as soon as you stop messing with the gel polish, it likes to beat up. So you got to start curing it immediately. So you got to be really kind of on top of that. That's the trickiest part with doing this. Otherwise, it's all a breeze. Then with black paint, after it is cured fully, you can go ahead and you can paint on this, and you can paint your little film strip details. So I've got 2 black lines that I'm starting with, and you're going to almost create a ladder with it. So you have your 2 main parts, the main lines of your ladder, and then add little lines going perpendicular between them to create all of these little rectangles for each frame that's on the film strip. And I didn't go through and add any details to my frames at all individually, because that would be exhausting. If you wanted to, you could do like they've got like where it goes down by the number. You could do that if you'd want. I just that's too much. I decided not to worry about that. But then go with white paint, and on those first 2 lines of your ladder that you made, add a little white dotted line. This is just to kind of this is just to create those little holes that are in the film strip for the reel so that it'll play. So just create those little dotted lines going down, and they don't have to be perfect, you know, just get them good enough, and then apply another layer of gel top coat on top of this. Cure it again. After that first time, you don't have to worry about curing it so quickly, because you're not painting it on top of that slippery nail form backing, you're painting it on top of gel, and it's not going to beat up like it did the first time. It's just that first time making sure you do cure it right away. Peel it off your nail form backing, flip it over, and you'll find that there's no white polka dots on the other side of your film strip. And since you can see all sides of this thing, you have to make sure that you do add the white dots on the other side, and add 1 last layer of gel top coat to those back polka dots that you just added. Once you're done with that, you've got 3 layers of gel polish thick. So it's a really good thickness with those 3 layers too. So it's the first one and then you painted, and then you top coated each side. And so then go ahead and just cut your film strip into, get rid of all that extra gel, because there's going to be some gel that's hanging off the sides. So just get rid of any extra, so you just have your film strip. And then glue it in one section, just glue one end of it to the nail with some nail glue. And then this is really flexible. You can bend it, you can twist it, you can turn it, you can do whatever you'd like with it. Take a tweezers and kind of form it around however you like it, and glue it in a couple places on the nail just so that it is going to stay there. And you are all set. The film strip stays flexible, which is another cool little detail. So it actually has a very real feeling to me. I've just, I can't even explain how much I love this. I hope you guys like it as much as I do, and please share any recreations with me on Facebook or Instagram. I would love to see them, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!